Well, hey everybody, Andrew here at the Douglas Moon Fragrance Channel. If you're wondering why it's called the Douglas Moon Fragrance Channel, but I'm Andrew, that's because my name's Andrew Douglas Lane, and me and my wife love the moon. It's not important to you, but that's why it's called what it is. So with that being said, today, first video in my new house, in our new house that we just moved into. That's why this doesn't look very professional. Not that any of mine have before, but we're doing what we can to make that change a little bit. But today, we're talking about Naxos by XERJOFF. This is one of the most amazing bottles that I've ever seen, even though it doesn't look super flashy with my camera quality right here. You can't really tell probably, but there's like a, yeah, you can see it. There's an amazing, I just love the little weavy, viney, whatever, paisley style design they've got going on here on the bottle. And I also am a sucker for frosted glass, to be honest with you. And XERJOFF, I just discovered, because this came in the other day, comes in this very, very awesome leather, if it's real leather, I don't know, but leather container that also, if you open it up, has like a little cloth that covers it. I'm a sucker for keeping containers and boxes for my fragrances. I don't really like just having the bottles out because you never know. Something can happen. They could fall. I live in North Carolina, so the chances of an earthquake's like probably slim to none, but I still don't want anything happening to my stuff. But anyway, getting back to the fragrance. This bad boy is so powerful. This is one of the strongest things. Like, I'm just starting to really do videos and get into niche fragrances because I'm branching away from designer, and this is so strong. Coming like as soon as you open the actual little box here, this just comes off at you. You can smell it. Like, it's an incredible smell. I'm going to go ahead and say that now, not being biased, and I'm also not sponsored. That's why I like to do these unedited videos, and I'm trying to keep it that way. Even if the channel keeps growing, I just hit 10,000 subscribers, and I hit 11,000 subscribers, so super excited. And I thank every single one of you guys for watching, for anyone who does. But I don't, I'm not sponsored by anyone, and even if I do become sponsored, get sent free stuff, I'm going to still tell you guys how I actually feel about things. And this one, I actually love it. The notes, oh man, I gotta appreciate that for a second. The notes for this bad boy, I believe, are like lemon, lavender, and bergamot to start with. I think the top notes are. But then it goes into honey, vanilla, and then fading into like a tobacco. Well, the vanilla is more of an undertone than tonka bean, but that honey is extremely strong. I've never smelled another fragrance, as far as I know, that has a honey note to it. And I've definitely been learning recently how much I love tobacco noted fragrances, but it's like super undertone here. You can tell though, the way that the raisiny, I think tobacco or anything with tobacco scent often has like a raisin type of hue to it, or like a plum or like a date type of hue to it. And this, the color of this, the way that it is actually like a goldish yellow inside of the bottle, the smell of it itself makes me think of that. Me and my wife, we love to think about like whatever color. She's an artist, whatever you want to say. But we personally, we like the smell of, when we smell things, we like to see what colors it makes us think of. It's something that we've always done. And it's just kind of how we connect things to memory. And this particular fragrance really does make me think of a light, beautiful, golden type of smell that you would smell like. A lot of people go back and forth on the internet, especially on Reddit, about whether this is a vibrant summer type of fragrance or more of a wintry fall type of fragrance. I think you could really wear this whenever you want. It's heavy enough, it's dense enough that it could be a wintertime fragrance, and yet at the same time, yesterday was 72 degrees, even though it's February, and we did all that moving, and I put this on, and it was just, I'm going to use a word that sounds bad, but it's not. It was reeking off of me, and other people around who was helping us thought it smelled great, but very strong. And I only did 3 little hits. Or one here, one on my chest, and one on the back of the neck. But to get to the point, the honey with the tobacco and the vanilla is so strong. I don't personally get a lot of lavender. Certain things like Sauvage, EDP have more of a lavender smell. My wife works with actual raw flowers. That's what she does for a living. She does flower preservation, and she is a sales representative for a flower, whatever. They get flowers to where they need to go for florists. And I smell lavender a lot, as it's the raw material, but I'm not really getting a whole lot of it off here. But then again, that's because of the honey and the tobacco-ish, that raisiny tobacco and the vanilla that's just so strong. And I'm going to spray it, even though I've got something else on today. I don't really want to mess it up, but you can see the atomizer is pretty powerful. It just comes out in a good mist. It's like a Hadouken or a Kamehameha, if you know what that is. Well, you probably know what that is. It comes out, it fills up the room immediately, and this is a beautiful smell. To me, this smells luxurious. I think of it as I don't know, like I haven't had too many niche fragrances so far, but this is one of my first ones that I actually got in from my recent like orders that I did as we were moving, so I could start doing this year's new videos. And this has just such a, anybody could wear this. You don't have to be rich. It's also not the cheapest thing in the world, but I use discounters. Again, I'm not sponsored, hopefully one day, but I use like Max Aroma or fragrancenet.com. So that's where I personally get this, because on there, I think this 3.4? 3.4 mil, or I don't know, 100 milliliters, so 3.4 ounces. This size bottle, I believe, was $179, maybe $199 on there, and that obviously sounds like a lot of money compared to designer fragrances on discounters. But if you get this, you know, compared to its retail price, I think it's like in US dollars, like 300 plus, something like that. It's cheaper in certain other things, like Tom Ford's can be, necessarily speaking, for the size of bottle that you get here. But overall, for what it is, the quality of it, the way it radiates, how long this lasts, because when you put this on you, you better be prepared that it's going to stick. If you don't like sweet, if you don't like bright, you're going to hate this. It's dense, it's thick, it's like walking through a cloud of smog, and yet it's the most beautiful smelling smog you've ever smelled before. But, you know, like I said, this whole entire room and into the bathroom, I did this like yesterday, like I said, and you walk into the other room and you can still smell it just radiating. And my experience so far, and I'm going to do more videos of XERJOFF in the future, is that they really do. They do this. They kick off so hard, and it's exactly what you would hope for if you were into this type of fragrance. And it's also not offensive. I've wore this out. I wear this around a couple of people that I love who are also very picky about the type of things that they are going to approve of when it comes to fragrances, and they like this. So only one person smelled this and they weren't into it because they just don't like sweet fragrances. They're much more into like dry, musky, earthy type of fragrances, which I love those too, but those aren't for everyone either. But definitely, if you're wanting to get into a niche fragrance and you want to do something that's like a little bit, not necessarily on the highest end, especially if you get to a discounter, again, honey, super strong, super sweet, blending perfectly but uniquely with that raisiny, datey, tobacco type of undertones, and it just kicks, it layers as it goes throughout the day. It's another thing I'm noticing about niche fragrances, is that they really do, like as I'm getting into this more and more with these types, they do have like a better depth of layers than designer fragrances do. They can be very 1 to 3 notes, whereas this, you put it on, it has a sharpness that takes you a second. When my wife first, she absolutely loved this. It's like top 10, top 5, I think. When she first smelled this, she hated it. She absolutely was like, that's disgusting. I don't want to ever smell that again, please. And I did what I normally do, and I sprayed it on me, gave it some time to cool off, and then got around her. And slowly but surely, within that next day, she was like, I absolutely love that. Please wear that all the time. I'm not going to, because I want to preserve it, but it is incredible. It is strong, and it will do what you want it to do. So again, if you really like those sweet, luxurious smelling fragrances, and you're into going for something a little bit more on the pricier end, I do recommend this. Overall, I would honestly say, for projection, I've smelled this on my skin the following day on my wrists. Not as strong, but still coming off about this far. It's very much a skin scent at that point. But on my shirt, I had to wash my shirt because 3 days later, it was still there, coming off at probably like maybe about 4 inches or so. But when you first spray it on, for roughly like 12 hours or so, me personally, it went. It was going and going. On my neck, it was going and going. So if you're going to put this on your neck, if you're not wanting it to be too powerful, because it will continue to kick, if you're not wanting something that strong and that sweet, back of the neck would probably work. But between my wrist, that I do if I'm just going to try to sample the longevity of something, in my neck, in my shirt, this will last you an extremely long time just with one. If you want to just do a simple, or 1 on the neck, or 3 sprays in total, if you want to do something like that, but no more than that. Don't do 4, 5, 6. Some of you guys really want to go for it. When you start getting into these niche fragrances, especially when you find high quality perfumery, you're going to notice you don't have to do all that. So cannot recommend this enough. I'm going to give this a 9.5 out of 10. I'd give it a 10 out of 10, but I'm funny about giving anything that, because I don't know, that's like saying something's perfect. And I don't know if anything fragrance is perfect, but this is very close to it. So for this type, for what it's going for and what you want out of it, and also again the incredible packaging, the bottle is so beautiful. I love the cap. The atomizer, as you saw, was a pretty good mist. It doesn't go out super far, but it goes out densely enough and spreads evenly. So again, overall, for the price, if you get from a discounter, for the price, because I don't really like shooting too high, I'm not too into like spending a lot of money, but for what it is, and if you can get it from a good site, and you can, again, Fragrance Net, Max Aroma, get it for a good price, and the longevity, the power, and overall the quality and depth of this fragrance, I would rate this 100%, 9.5 out of 10. One of the greatest fragrances that I've ever smelled, And again, I'm glad I can say that unsponsored, because it means a lot to me to be able to connect to new fragrances and new things that I've never smelled before, because this is nothing like anything that I have ever personally smelled before. So it's not like I've smelled thousands, but I have smelled a lot, and this really does hit a lot of spots for me. So thank you for watching. Again, grateful to be at 11,000 subscribers now. Thank you so much to everybody who's taking the time to subscribe and check out my other videos. And there's much more coming on the way, so please feel free to subscribe if you haven't yet and check out more of what I've got going on. So again, this was Naxos by XERJOFF, and I just love you guys so much. I appreciate you guys. God bless you all, no matter who you are, where you're from, what you believe in, what you're all about. As long as you're not hurting other people, as long as you want goodness and health and harmony for other people, thank you for whatever you are doing in this earth to be you. So stay you, stay true, and again, God bless you, and I love you. Andrew from Douglas Moon Fragrance, Naxos by XERJOFF, over and out.